So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NIKKE. It's been a very long time since I posted a video and a very long time since I last streamed, but I'm here now after like 10 days. So I'm a bit late for this update. There's actually not been a new update for this game. I'm actually like a week or so late, but I wanted to stream this because, hey, I'm now free. I've been busy doing German stuff. As you can see, we're no longer doing face cam. We're back to VTubing because, hey, I made this new model from scratch and I think it looks pretty good. So I'll be discussing my thoughts about this collab event. Yes, chat room and YouTube people, I did do this collab last night. I did this collab event last night. I didn't do it on stream, I'm sorry. So I'll be talking about my thoughts on this collab. So everyone here that's looking for the actual like main event, you can skip ahead. I'll just put a timestamp down below. But yeah, I'll just talk about my thoughts here. All right, so chat room, like I said, right? So I'll be speaking to my Twitch chat for this bit. So chat room, I'm sorry to say that I actually did this Lycoris collab like story off stream. I did it last night. And the reason I did that was because I have like a huge, I don't want to say prejudice, but you heard me talk about how every single collab has been kind of like bad. And by bad, I don't mean bad as in a bad choice of collab. I mean like every collab has been like kind of boring. Like event wise, like the main story's been kind of boring. So leading up to this one, right, I had never seen Lycoris Recoil. Am I saying that probably? Lycoris? So I never saw this anime. So like so the collab for this came out like I think a month ago, and I literally did not start this event until like yesterday. By the way, I literally did not open it until yesterday. And the funny thing about that is that this collab actually ends in like 2 days. This collab event. And so I did this last night, chat. And this collab event, this event is actually probably the second best one by far. Not the first best one. I think Stellar Blade is still the best one. But this collab event story, I think was actually the second best one. It is by far the best one they've done in a long time. And I think if I streamed it, I think you guys would have liked it. Stream. I think you guys on the stream, I think you might have liked that, actually. Duck was wrong. Not wrong. Duck was actually correct. Like a month ago, Duck posted on Discord. He's like, hey, you gonna like try stream this? They changed their direction. Actually pretty good. And you know what? Duck was actually correct. So yeah, everyone say thanks to Duck. Duck is always correct. Now, obviously, it's not voice acted, right? Which is a shame. If it was voice acted, then maybe it would have been up there with the Stellar Blade one. Well, yeah, the reason I said it looked unappealing was because I'd never seen this anime or like manga. And based on the prior experiences of the other collab, I kind of expected it to be kind of like, dare I say, mid. But let me share my thoughts about this collab really quick. You guys can skip ahead if you want. I'll put the timestamps down below. Down below. So the reason why I felt that this collab story was actually good was mainly because it was mainly because it actually ties in to the game's main story. It's not just like another like off side story just for the collab that has no effect in the main story. This story actually kind of leads into the game's main story, right? It's not just another one of those like, oh, you know, Gatekeeper is like sleeping again and he's dreaming up a fan fiction of these characters, and then it's like, oh, we have to go kill him, and then, you know, it's not like the Evangelion one where it's like, oh, completely unrelated cube it's like invaded the sky or whatever, right? This story actually ties into the games one, much like how the Stellar Blade one was good was because, well, it was voice acted, right? But the Stellar Blade one was good was because it was, it actually ties into like the game's main story, right? With like the guy, right? The human that they found, the new NIKKE, cool, like, what was her name? Art, paint, and like, you know, the room, the robots and stuff was actually really interesting. I wouldn't say like main story side, but it's like a side story, I guess you could say. The main thing is that it's not just a separate, like, unrelated story that they made just for the collab. That makes sense, right? It actually has the collab characters take part in like an actual like NIKKE thing, right? So let me bring up some graphics for this, I guess, some character graphics. See if I can find it. See if I can find it. Might have to. Oh, this is actually pretty far up, I think. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, oh no, there's only the. Okay, so can I drag and drop this? There's not canon. It's actually well, it's. I would say it's canon. It's canon. Okay, so let me bring some graphics here. So here we have some like character graphics here. So let me explain to you what the overarching plot point for this story was. So let me bring this graphic here, and then let me bring like this graphic here as well. This guy as well. Is Duck here? Duck, are you still here? Because I need your I need your assistance with this. You are here. Okay, so the overarching story for this event or collab is that you know, these two characters, right? What's their name? What's their Chisato and what are their names? Chisato. Is it easy way to like bring them up here? I think I have to go back to the main menu for this. It's the same picture. That's the same picture. That is the same picture. It's related. All right, it's related. It's funny that you say these are the same pictures. So we have but where are they? Okay, yeah, here they are. So we got Kurumi, right? Kurumi, Chisato, and Takina, right? So like it opens up with them showing up and waking up, being like, oh hey, are we in a brand new world, you know? And then what they do is that they go to Cafe Sweetie. So as you know, right, Cafe Sweetie is the cafe that's run by Frima, Milk, and Sugar, right? So they end up going to Cafe Sweetie, and they're like, oh wow, man, this place has no customers, and like, wow, you guys only sell like 3 drinks: milk coffee, sugar coffee, and like coffee. And then they have like a little spat, because, you know, it's like, oh, you're not from this world, you're like strangers, you have guns, what's a NIKKE, you know, stuff like that, you know, the typical collab story. So then the main character, the commander, you know, wakes up from his bed, he gets a call from Commander Anderson, right? Anderson's just like giga chatting all over the place, right? Anderson's just like, oh hey, main character, we got like Gatekeeper sleeping again, and we have this rough location where you should go investigate. So we go to investigate this place, right? We don't see anything, so we decide to go to Cafe Sweetie, and then boom, we see the collab characters, right? So the overarching story is that Cafe Sweetie, right? Cafe Sweetie, Frima, Milk, and Sugar, right? They get a job to investigate these like strange murders that's been happening, right, around like the Outer Rim. So they have a job to try and find this person. So they go to the Outer Rim, and like Takina and Chisato, right, they're like, oh, let us join you, right? So they come along, they go to the point where they're supposed to go to, but like the person they're supposed to like protect and stuff, he ends up dead. They find his dead body. Well, they end up either finding his dead body, or they end up not finding him. But they do find this suspect, this sus person. So like Takina and Chisato, right, they end up chasing this this mysterious figure, and it's this child here, right here. This child here. What's her name again? Her name is Jane. Yeah. So this small child's called Jane. They end up finding her as like the suspect in air quotes. And this little child is like she's very weird. And by weird, as in she's not like your typical child, right? She's very like, she keeps to herself. She's very quiet. And then Chisato and Takina, they're just like, oh, why don't you come with us to Cafe Sweetie, little girl? And then she, you know, she goes there, and like fun things happen and stuff like that. And then she talks about how she's like an orphan, she has no parents or whatever, but she does have a brother, this guy right here. We don't know that this guy's her brother, but we find out that she brings up how she has a brother for this guy. They kind of look exactly the same. So this little girl is mysterious and stuff, but then she decides to hang out at the Cafe Sweetie for like days, right? Every day. And then she slowly starts opening up and she becomes like sweet, right? Like Cafe Sweetie. She starts being like a good person and she like loves hanging out and stuff like that. But she always has to like suddenly run out and do like jobs. Well, she says homework. She has to run off and do homework, right? In air quotes, homework. And we learn that Cafe Sweetie, right? So Prima, Sugar, and Milk actually had a. They actually failed one of their jobs, right? And you learn from flashback that. There was an orphanage in the Ark, right? There was a child protection center in the Ark, right? However, it was a front for child trafficking, where they would kidnap children and they would harvest their brains and put them into NIKKEs when they become adult, right? But it was disguised as orphanage. And we learned that Frima's like first failed job was that there was a mother that asked her to find her child, but they were too late, and the child got turned into a NIKKE, and the orphanage that was a front for child trafficking ended up fleeing. That was like the first failed mission that Frima did and her team, right? So one day, this lady, what's her name? Kurumi, I think, the blonde hair lady from the collab. Yeah, so this lady is actually a this lady is actually like 30 years old or something or whatever, but she's actually like a hacker man. She's like a super high-tech hacker man, which I guess is something to do with the main show. But she ends up building like a base, right? A hacking equipment base inside Cafe Sweetie. Oh yeah, before that, Takina and Chisato, they renovate the entire cafe because they because the cafe looked a little bit too drab, and it only had like 3 coffees as their like as their main like, you know, stuff to sell. So Chisato and Takina, they renovate the entire cafe. They add a bunch of cakes and desserts. They end up getting a bunch of customers. Mast shows up, right? So Mast shows up and she literally does nothing, right? She does nothing for the entire event. She's just there to sell her like gacha skin or whatever. She's only there to sell her skin. Like if you remove her from the story, nothing would have changed. But anyway, Mast shows up and he's like, oh, hey, I showed up out of nowhere. I heard there was a new cafe in town that was all bustling. And then she was like, oh, hey, you guys want help? Yeah, I'll help work for you. And then she's kind of just there. But anyway, one day, Kurumi, right? She ends up building a drone or making a drone. And they end up following this little girl, right? Jane right here, right? Because Jane keeps on like randomly disappearing. She's like, oh, you know, she's very like flippant about what she does. So basically, Kurumi, she like makes a drone and they follow Jane. And Jane ends up going in this like shady building, right? This shady building. And we find out that this shady building is actually the ARCs, the Child Arc Protection Center. So it's a protection center in the Arc, right? For like orphan children. And the reason that this ends up being interesting is the fact that apparently the commander had a earlier, like, I guess this was like a blah blah story event where like the commander had a phone call from the lady that runs this Child Arc Protection Center, right? Called Jennifer. Now the reason I bring the reason I asked why Duck's here, right? A Duck, is that like a blah blah? Was that a blah blah event where like the orphanage lady, like Jennifer, she like calls the commander and it's like, hey commander, I need you like do something for me. I'm gonna assume it's like a blah blah thing. It was, yeah. So apparently there was a blah blah side story that involved this like orphanage center with like missing children, you know, kidnapping children, you know, child trafficking and stuff like that. And even Anise gets brought up. I didn't know that. Anise even gets brought up in the flashback where Anise is like, hey commander, this child orphanage is a little bit sus, don't you think? But yeah, the reason it was interesting because this Jane was actually, she ends up going to the same orphanage that's from the side story, right? And then they're like, oh shit, well, let's go investigate the orphanage. So we go to the orphanage with collab characters, right? And it seems like all fun and dandy, right? The children there are happy, they're playing, and then like the commander notices that some of the children have very weird like scars and like blisters and like stuff on their hands. And Chisato, right? Chisato and Takina, right? Apparently they're like in their universe, they're like detectives or something. They're like police officers or whatever. They disguise themselves as like teenagers to make them less suspicious. I don't know. I don't watch the manga. I don't read the manga. I don't really watch the anime. But really, I do that. But between Takina and Chisato, they noticed that these like blisters and stuff that we see on the child's hands are a result of handling guns and weapons, right? So we notice that Jane is missing, right? She's not here. She's missing from the orphanage. And then Jennifer, the mother or the leader of like the orphanage, right, the founder, she's like, oh, some of these children are like off on a field trip, right? So Kurumi, right? She and her drone finds this like very shady looking like warehouse that's next to the orphanage, and we find out that it's actually like a prison cell for misbehaved children. And we have Jane and like her brother Rain here, right? He's called Rain. They're like being thrown down here in the dungeon because they failed their homework, their task and stuff. And Jane's just like, oh, what are you doing and stuff. But Jane and Rain, they kind of want to get adopted, right? That's like their dream. They want to get adopted into homes. And so later on, we find out that this child art protection center, the lady Jennifer, she's actually turning these children into like assassins, so like child assassins. And we find in record documents that like children that do really well and get graded highly, they don't get adopted, they get turned into actual assassins, right? And children that do like poorly, or children that cannot be assassins, they actually get adopted into like families. So in a way, yeah, it is messed up, but the children do get adopted into like real families and they're happy and stuff like that. So we found out that Jane and Rain, these two kids are actually really good at their jobs. They're really good at killing people. Right? And but what's her name? Chisato and Takina, right? They end up getting caught by Jennifer, the owner of the orphanage, right? And they get tied up. And they have a bunch of these kids with like guns watching over them. And then Jennifer, she's like, okay, she wants to meet up with commanders. The commander goes inside and like, sits down. And then Jennifer, like, she talks about her motive, right? Her motive is just to get money because she gets like a shit ton of money from doing this job. And like, people don't suspect children as being like killers, right? They always suspect adults. So it's like the perfect front. And then Jennifer's just like, hey, commander, you want to like become my business partner? I'll give you like $5 million. Excuse me, if you become my business partner. And then the commander's just like, what? No. And then Jennifer's just like, all right, Jane and Rain, you come inside and you kill Chisato and Takina, right? You kill the collab characters. They literally pull out the guns and like they pull out the guns, and before they shoot them, Chisato and Takina, they like have superpowers, right? They're like superpowered martial art people, and they like escape, right? And the best part about this collab is that we end up beating up children. Yeah, I kid you not. Freeman squad, Freeman Co, everyone, they bust them through the door and save them, and then they freaking like beat up the children. Well, they don't beat them up. They like, they just give them a few punches and knock them out unconscious. That's the best part. And at the end of the story, right, we confront Jennifer, right? We're about to get her because she ran off with like these two kids, right? And we catch up with her, and then Jennifer is just like, oh, if you do something to me, I'll like do this to the children, right? So what Jennifer ends up doing is like, okay, Jane, you kill your brother, right? He's just like, okay, if you try and harm me, I'll get these kids to kill each other. And then Jane is just like, okay, and then Jane shoots this guy. Jane shoots his brother, and then the brother's like dead, all right? He's literally like, he's dead. So yeah, Jane shoots her brother, and then Jennifer's like, what the hell, you psycho? And then Jane pulled the gun on Jennifer, and then she like shoots Jennifer as well. And then Jennifer's dead. But then we learn that the little boy is actually alive, because much like Yakuza, the gun that Jane had was actually Chisato's gun. This lady, right? This lady's gun. And she has rubber bullets, right? Much like Yakuza 4, it's rubber bullets. And then Jane was just like, you know, I thought you loved me. I knew from the beginning, Jennifer, that you were just using us, and we were not actually going to get adopted, and we knew you never loved us. But I wanted to see like your true colors, right? So you told us that this is your true colors. So now I know. And then this little girl, this little like 8-year-old girl, is just like, okay, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave the orphanage, and I'm gonna like forge my own path. So yeah, this little 8-year-old girl is just like by herself, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna go live my own life and make a new life for myself. And then she's like, little bro, I know you wanted us to get adopted together, but like I'm gonna go find my own path. So yeah, and then she's just like, all right, little bro, I'm gonna go now. And then little bro is just like dead, right? She walks off. And then the epilogue is that Jane comes back to a Cafe Sweetie, but she's actually like, she's just like, oh yeah, hey guys, it's me again. And they went, oh wow, how you doing? And she's like, oh, I've been doing great. I've been like doing my homework. I've been going to school. I'm allowed to go out. But I have to be escorted by like this faceless bouncer guy, right? Because all the children have to be like rehabilitated, right? And they have to be watched by like these men, because technically they're children, yeah, but they've killed a lot of people. And it ends with this funny comment that I screenshotted here. Sugar, it's a new dessert, talking to May before she left. And Jane's like, haha, it looks like... so yeah, people funny. And Milk's just like, you can't say that, that's swear word. And Sugar's just like, oh, kids, classic. And then, you know, Seinfeld music plays. Anyway, yeah, that's the story. Takino and Chisatsu and like Kurumi, they poop up. They're playing board games, and then they like play so late that they fall asleep. And then when we wake up, they're gone. So yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's the Lycoris story, a Recoil story. Did you guys like it? Are they twins? They are, yes. The children, yes, they're twins. Well, brother and sister, but they're basically twins. All right, there's a story recap. Did you like that? Did that make sense at all? I did a poor job explaining it, but did you like it? So you might be thinking, hey, did I pull with the characters? And to answer your question, yes, I did. And yes, I did. Anyway, I made the story sound a lot worse than it was, but trust me when I say that it was actually by far the best event collab that they have made since the Stellar Blade one. Considering the last one was the Resident Evil one, right? I think considering the Resident Evil one was boring, this was way better because, like I said, it wasn't just some unrelated like side plot that they made just for the collab. It was actually tied in pretty nicely with the game's like actual story. Maybe not main story, but it like nicely tied in to a story that was related to the art, right? And the collab characters didn't just stand around doing nothing. They actually like contributed, and they actually like they were meaningful, right? They weren't just there because of collab. They actually were integrated pretty well. Also, yeah, Enoch leading all these children assassination have. That's pretty funny. No, done. And the mini game is actually pretty fun as well. I didn't try hard at all. I just did it once and I stopped doing it. So the mini game was also pretty fun. The mini game for this event is basically Rhythm Heaven. It's basically you basically got like 3 Rhythm Heaven mini games here. So there's normal mode and hard mode. Obviously, hard mode is hard. The reason it's hard is because on normal mode, they actually tell you the timings for do it to like hit the button. But on hard mode, there's no like there's no visual cue, so you have to go by like sound. So here I'll do this once. All right, I'm gonna be terrible because I haven't practiced at all. But it's like Rhythm Heaven. You see how it's like Rhythm Heaven? On easy mode, there's a bar at the bottom that tells you when to do it. But on hard mode, there's no bar. When's the new Rhythm Heaven game coming out? Hey, I didn't miss any. Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's actually pretty hard as well. I don't think I did any better. I think I did worse. Anyway, you can also do like modifiers here, like increasing the accuracy required. If you miss one, you die. It's like a blur to the screen. If you don't do any perfects, goods and greats count as misses. Yeah, there's a bunch of different modifiers. But it's pretty fun. You can tell it's like definitely Rhythm Heaven inspired, right? I mean, even this music sounds like Rhythm Heaven. Oh, I didn't get my, I need to collect my daily 20 gems, I think. Yeah, there's only 3. It would have been nice if there were more. But, yeah, it's actually pretty good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with the Lycoris Recoil talk. We're finally done with the game's dailies. We can actually begin the main event for this video, which is actually the Enter Heaven. All right. So usually these like little mini events, side events, they're pretty short, maybe like 2 hours long. And are they voice acted? I'm not sure. It's probably not voice acted, but we'll see. Anyway, EH, pretty cool character. Pretty cool main character. I'm very curious to see where this is in the main story. Let's begin. It's not voice acted. This one sucks. Blah, Viper, my throat hurts. Seriously, doesn't anyone ever clean up around here? Why is there so much dust? Should I eat it all? Would that make my throat stop hurting? Yes. Don't. It'll only make it worse. Oh, okay. Thanks, boss. Now then. The tip we got said there have been sightings of dangerous people coming and going around here. Bobby looks around the area. I see a whole bunch of dust, but no signs that anyone's actually been living here. Yeah. There aren't even any light fixtures. Plotting something shady in the dark, huh? Wonder what it was. Viper, boss, over here. There's stuff written all over the wall. There's literal writing on the wall? Viper turns on a phone flashlight and shines on the wall Jack was pointing at. What is this? The wall is covered. And the words written in red. Traitors, hypocrites, you abandoned us. Question mark? And what's that in the center? Light is our right, Heavenly Ascension. You think Heavenly Ascension is behind this? Hard to say. So, like, Heavenly Ascension, right, is that the group that EH used to run with? They're like, they're the bioterrorism pharmaceutical company, right? Thought you're already taking care of all that. I did. But now it looks like a little investigation is warranted. I'll handle it. By yourself? Yeah. EH stares at the wall, filled top to bottom with writing. Pretty sure this is a message meant for me. Oh, there you go. Whoa. Cinema. Alright. So, hard mode's actually out on Thursday. But, it should be fine. Always wear your seatbelts. Wow, what is the music?
Do you need some training?
It's always funny seeing random... Ew, crow. It's always funny seeing these random NIKKEs being, like, in the bonus.
Do you prefer being outside? I will go with you.
Heavenly Ascension, yeah, maybe. With Crow and stuff? Come in. Thanks for making time. I know how busy you are. You said it was urgent. What's going on? It's about a terrorist group from the Outer Rim. Heavenly Ascension. Do you remember them? Well, I guess we'll have a crash course. Of course, they're behind a lot of terrorist attacks in the Ark. That's a lot of different groups. Crow used them to blow a hole in the Dome of Eternity. Well, there you go. That answers your question. Then do you know who founded Heavenly Ascension? Now, can you refresh my mind? Figured you might not. It would be good for you to know, though. It was EH who founded Heavenly Ascension. Yeah, this was mentioned in the main story, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. But it's been a while. The EH? That's why it's called in heaven. I see. Why are you telling me this now? After the attack on the Ark, EH expressed the desire to atone for her sin. He asked to become a NIKKE so she could take responsibility for what she'd done. As part of the deal, she was forbidden from leaving the Outer Rim. A bomb was placed around her neck and she became the leader of Exotic, agreeing to dismantle Heavenly Ascension herself. Those who left the group under EH's orders were spared their lives, while those who didn't were punished for the terrorist attack. And Heavenly Ascension was thereby declared disbanded. Double exclamation mark. I had no idea that all happened. However, there's an issue. Since then, the remnants of Heavenly Ascension were quiet. At least we hadn't seen any signs of activity from them. Recently, though, we received intel that they have started moving again. Didn't you just say the group was dismantled? It was, but then reports started coming in. Light is our right, Heavenly Ascension. That's their most famous slogan, and it's been written all over the Outer Rim. Can it just be some copycat, though? Of course, that's entirely possible. Oh, Delta's Bond story? Really? I mean, of course I knew that. I've done all the Bond stories. But we also can't rule out the possibility that there are remnants of the group still around. If so, EH's report of dismantling Heavenly Ascension may have been false. A ruse meant to protect what remains of their group. At least that's one theory. The suspicion got pointed at her. It's not unreasonable for the central government to come to that conclusion. After all they see when they look at EH is the former head of a terrorist organization. That's why they're asking me to look into what's really going on with her. Do you think she lied? I don't know, I can't say. I don't want to give my opinion first to influence your judgment. Besides, let's just say I'm not fit to judge. What do you mean by that? For now, I want you to see EH in person and determine whether she's involved in this or not. You were one of the victims of the attack, but you also have a long history of treating NIKKEs without prejudice. If there's anyone who can remain impartial here, it's you. ... Alright, I'll meet with her. You're really going through with it? Yeah, I was asked to. Hey, they actually finally decided to use the updated rock models and stuff. I mean, it's been like this for a while now, I think. Were you able to get in touch with her? No, she's not answering any messages or calls. That's not good. Whatever really is going on, this whole situation is suspicious. Oh yeah, the counter squad was also not involved at all with the Lycoris Recoil event. They were not mentioned. Well, Anise was in a flashback, but they were not involved at any point. I'd advise keeping your guard up, Commander. Regardless of whatever EH intended, something is already in motion. You can't do as you've already done and blindly trust someone because they're NIKKE. Don't worry. How can I not? Let me come with you. It's dangerous to go alone. Wait, isn't that a... That's a... Isn't that a Zelda reference? I think? Yeah. If we move as a group, we'll draw too much attention. We're fairly well known now. Even so, it's better than being defenseless. Hi, Mubon. I just don't want to provoke them. Regardless of who's doing this, their recent actions have been bold. True, but I don't want to escalate this and drag innocent people into it. Still, I don't think going at it alone is strategically a good idea. That's why I've already contacted someone else. Someone else? Wait, you don't mean... That's exactly who I mean. Who does he mean? Robbie had this kind of disgusted look on her face. Also, wait, Senti, not Rupee. Got confused. Funny how apparently Senti's treasure makes her worse. You can remove treasures, can't you? Or they... Wait, yeah, you can, right? But it's funny. Apparently her treasure item makes her worse. Honey! Viper. It's been a while. It's unlike you to be the first one to call. Or be the one to call. I just haven't been able to reach EH. Oh, I don't mind the reason. I'm just happy you reached out first. ... Here, Commander! Oh my god, it's Jackal! I'm so happy to see you. Yeah, come on, don't be like that. We love Jackal. Thanks for coming out. Don't mention it. So you're looking for our boss too, huh? Yeah, I heard Heavenly Ascension's on the move again, and I wanted to ask her about it. Yeah, I've been tracking them ever since we found signs of their activity. You've been tracking them too? Who do you think first found the wall with the slogan written on it? It was us. But a few days ago, after we found a certain wall, she said she'd look into it on her own. We haven't been able to reach her since. She's not responding to you either? You've tried going out looking for her? You bet I ran around everywhere trying to catch her scent. But I couldn't smell her anywhere, so we didn't find her. I see. Can you show me the wall you found before she disappeared? That's the wall, brother. Of course. It's deep inside the outer rim, though. You sure you're up to it? It hasn't been upkept for a long time, to the point that there aren't even any lights. It's dark and dangerous. Shouldn't be a problem for you two around, right? Oh my, here you were so guarded earlier, honey. Yet now you're putting your trust in me. I don't see any reason for you to betray me. You betray me, I fed up with the world. I suppose that's true. Are you going to double cross me again? I mean, the triple cross now. Of course not. I won't do anything like that again. Not now or ever. I'm not going to betray you, honey. I swear. ... Man, we're giving them a lot of ... Alright, I'll trust you. Thank you. Viper said thank you? Hee, then I'll say it too. Thank you, Commander. Hee. Now, as a sign of our trust and commitment, how about a handshake? A handshake? A handshake. Viper extends her hand. That's a lot of ... He said you trust me and yet you're already hesitating? I would never do anything to hurt you, honey. I swore, remember? Don't do it. She's got a fecal funny, like, whoopee cushion. Alright. I take Viper's hand. Hee, your hands are so warm. That's a lot of ... Viper lets go of my hand. Good, I'm all charged up now. You gotta do the little Follow me.
I'll finish this quickly. Preparing.
Oh snap. Chat, we got ads in like 1 minute. It's already been 2 hours.
When it comes to dominating the competition, nothing beats cold hard cash.
Following Viper and Jackal's lead, I head deeper into the outer rim. There really aren't any streetlights around. They really aren't. It's dark, huh? Heavenly Ascension never developed this area. That's why there aren't any lights. Heavenly Ascension developed the area? The entire outer rim used to be like this. It was already dark enough without the Dome of Eternity, but with the partition blocking the way, barely any light from the Ark could get in. EH changed that. He said people shouldn't live in a place that's dark, and so she dug through piles of scrap to find light bulbs, ran electrical lines through the buildings that were still standing, and installed streetlights all over the place. After that, people started following her even though she was an outsider. An outsider, EH. You didn't know? What do you think EH stands for? Do you know her? Do you know not her real name? Everyone's hero. How cheesy. The thing I heard it was Elysian Harper. Was this brought up like in a blah blah side event or something? So you know her name, but not that she was an outsider. Wait, Elysian Harper and Elysian? Isn't that the name of the... Bro, the main story? Oh, I forgot. It's been like, how many chapters ago? Like 20 or something? Since it's Elysian that sent you, I figured they would have told you everything. Wait, her name's Elysian Harper, and she's under the corporation Elysian. And Elysian's the one that sent us. Well, chat room, I'm gonna have a Elysian break, alright? We're back in like 3 minutes. Yeah? Yeah, I almost hit the stop streaming button instead of stop recording. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Sorry, I had to go shower because I hadn't showered in like a week. Okay, let's continue. Sounds like that's not the case. Is there more I should know? It's probably better if you hear everything from EH directly. It's all really personal stuff, so I don't think it'd be right for me to talk about it. He's our boss, you know, and I want to respect that. For now, just know that EH was originally an outsider who came into the Outer Rim on her own. Alright. You two seem to be on pretty good terms with her. Oh, EH? I feel like we were strangers before. We already knew she treated her people well, even back when she led Heavenly Ascension. Once she actually became our boss, though, that's when we really understood why people liked her. Yeah, boss treats me well. He does say I can't buy whatever I want, though. There's a lot of things she tells me not to do. I don't like that. I want to chomp stuff, but she says no. That's because you keep eating weird things and getting stomach aches. Oh, really? Then I like Boss. She's nice to me. I didn't really expect that. No, people don't speak like that. People don't speak like that. If people say that they haven't showered in like 5 weeks because they wore like 5 layers of clothing and they mean, oh, I mean, I was streaming. Oh, I mean, I was, yeah, that's not, no one talks like that. After what happened with the attack on the Ark, I figured things would be more strained between you. Yeah, you think so, right? I did too, so when EH first became our boss, I just flat out asked her. And then... what a surprise, you're the EH, and now you're here to lead Exotic. Did you volunteer for it? Yeah. Really? But we stabbed you in the back. Are you really okay working with us? Yeah. Wow, very impressive. Oh, unless you're here to try and reform us former criminals. Is that it? Yeah. My hands aren't clean either. Still, you're different from us. You had clear convictions. Ideals and intentions don't make a mistake any less wrong. I've no intention of lecturing you two as though I'm somehow innocent. I joined Exotic because the squad is the only one operating in the Outer Rim. And I figured I can protect this place. I've no resentment towards you and no desire for revenge. We can't change what happened, and now we're all paying our own price. That's all there is to it. Haha, I had no idea you're the type who makes life harder than it needs to be. Not that I mind, hee. Honey's a straight arrow too. You remind me of him in that way. Okay then. I look forward to working with you, boss. Well, how Potter? How was the fecal funny? Hehehe, me too, boss. Likewise. And that was that. Do you get it now? Haha, she's got a good heart. Despite everything we did to her. That's why I don't think she's trying to rebuild Heavenly Ascension. I realize you might not believe all that because it's coming from me. But I do hope you'll hear her out at least once. Don't worry. It was alright? Okay, that was good. It's good to have good colon problems. That's why I'm here. Pancakes and coffee with milk. Ooh. That's the kind of honey I know. Let's get going. Hehe, we're almost there. Yo, you know, I got a email, a newsletter email from the place that I buy my protein stuff online. And they're selling like protein pancakes. Vanilla and chocolate flavors. Those are 2 separate flavors, mind you, not together. But like, I don't know. I never really liked chocolate chip like pancakes. You know, I feel like pancakes should just be like plain, and you should just have syrup on them, and that's it. I feel like I'm not really a fan of like chocolate pancakes or something. I feel like, I mean, if I wanted chocolate pancakes or whatever, I might as well just have like, you know, waffles instead. You get what I mean? Like, I grew up with pancakes just being like, you know, plain pancakes with like golden syrup, and that's it. I follow Viper and Jackal into a rundown house. Cop, cop. As we enter, our footsteps stir up a cloud of dust. Ugh, I'll never get used to this dust. Why don't you get like a vacuum cleaner and like clean it up with them? Is Viper's leg like freaking out? No, Viper, I mean Jackal. Yeah, Jackal's like leg. Her right leg, so our left. If you look at her bottom feet, it's like kind of like weirdly going back into animation. When you say chocolate pancakes, do you mean like chocolate pancakes or do you mean like chocolate chip pancakes? Oh, I hate this place. It makes my nose and throat hurt. Then do you want to wait near the entrance? It shouldn't be as bad there. Okay. This is the last place you saw EA? Yeah, that's right. See that wall? Viper shines her phone light into one of the walls. Words like traitor and hypocrite are scrawled all over in red. Oh, your pancake needs work, man. Needs some work. What's Japanese pancakes? How could you abandon us? Words of resentment. Die, central government lapdog! As well as some curses. There it is. And the familiar refrain. Light is our right, heavenly ascension. Heavenly ascension slogan. So this is what she saw. Yeah, she said it was a message meant for her. It's probably from someone who resents her for breaking up heavenly ascension. If that's the case, it means she is a target. You know, do you think this person, this main bad person, is going to be a unique model, like a unique NIKKE, or do you think this person is just going to be a generic NPC with like no face? And if she's been unreachable ever since, she might be in danger. Yeah, given that she was strong enough to hunt down NIKKEs even when she was human. Even when she was human. Now keep in mind, right? You know Jane and Rain, those two kids that I showed you? They are actually real people from the NIKKE universe. They're not actually part of the Lycoris Recoil. And I mean, they gave them unique models. And I feel like they're not like recurring characters. But even then, yeah, I think generic. I have a hard time imagining something happening to her. But when people harbor a grudge, you never know what will happen. It's possible she came back here at some point. Let's check the house one more time for any clues. Alright. Jackal, it's time to stop playing out there. We need to see if we can find any signs that the boss was here. Aw, man, inside there? My nose is clogged from all that dust. My throat hurts. Then just use your eyes. Alright. Okay, hehe, I'll help find boss. However, no matter how much we search the house, there's no trace of a ape. There's nothing here. Maybe she didn't come back. Viper, my nose really hurts. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, we can stop. Oh, this isn't good. Maybe it's time to wear like a face mask thing. We can't just go searching through the entire outer rim. For now, let's step outside, honey. Staying in here can't be good for you. Yeah, let's go. Hurry, hurry, let's go. Viper, commander, hurry. Okay, we're coming. Before following Jackal and Viper out through the entrance, I glanced at the writing on the wall one last time. What's wrong? Something catch your attention? No, just taking one last look. Looking closely at the phrase, light is our right, heavenly ascension. I noticed a small groove attached into the word light. Whoa, secret button. What's this? I pressed my hand against it. Beep. Oh. The ground gives way beneath me. What the honey.com, and I dropped down. After a fall that lasts longer than I expected, I slammed onto the floor below. Dude, our butt is injured. Our butt is broken. Oh, hello, Byron. Ooh. I look around. The room is pitch black. Where am I? Huh? You're not Viper or Jackal? Who's there? Ugh. Whack. Something heavy slams into my head. And I lose consciousness. Oh, we're dead. Well, it was a good run. We just got bonked.
The sooner we're done here, the sooner I can go shopping. Yeah. Hold down. I'm very impatient.
I have a like a sushi like rice
box that I didn't finish because it's pretty big, and if I finished it, I would have been like 30 minutes late to the stream. So I have like a half-eaten sushi rice thingy that I haven't finished yet. Just figured I should bring that up. So much blood. Oh, we're dead. I hear someone's voice. Come on, wake up. EA? Do you recognize me? Yeah, I am. I clutched my throbbing head and stood up. Man, that ringing just now reminded me that my ears started ringing. Like when I woke up in the middle of the night, my ears started ringing. It was very unpleasant. Try not to move. It looks like you hurt your head. Right. Before I passed out, I got hit in the head of something. You did? By who? I think I saw a silhouette of a man, but I couldn't make out anything. I see. Don't worry, I'm not that badly hurt. Just a bit of head trauma. You shouldn't push yourself. You lost a lot of blood. The wound looks pretty bad. I'm really... What you... A strange chill runs through me. Aside from the cold, I really think I'm okay. So what just happened was a Vinny Vine Saw situation where an anvil fell on our head. Mind if I take a look at the wound? You're wearing gloves, right? Yeah. Okay then, go ahead. Just be careful not to touch the blood. Alright. EH comes closer and carefully examines my head. The wound's gone. It's completely healed. Judging from all the blood, I'm sure it's a serious injury, and yet... What's wrong? Nothing. He starts to check the rest of my body, starting with my back and arms. Thankfully, it doesn't look like you're sustaining any other injuries. Still, just because the outside's healed doesn't mean you don't have any internal injuries. Head injuries shouldn't be taken lightly. Let's rest here for a while before we get moving. Yeah, sure. She doesn't know, Pepe laughed. She might be right about me not being fully healed. I'm starting to feel cold. I thought he said you might be right about me not being fully right in the head. Brrr. What are you doing here anyway? Looking for you. Me? Yeah, Ingrid told me Heavenly Ascension is back. Oh, that. I came to confirm whether you're connected to it. Whether I'm connected? You came to check whether I'm behind all this. Seems the central government suspects you. They think you never really disbanded Heavenly Ascension and that you falsified your report. I see. Makes sense for them to distrust me. To them, I'm sure I'm just a criminal who switched sides to survive. And now they want Ingrid to look into it. Yeah. Then she asked you to investigate and to determine for yourself whether I'm behind this. Yeah. She said she wasn't fit to judge. Not fit, huh? Yeah, I could see her saying that. I'm sorry. You got dragged into this because of me. The fact is, I am connected to this. The one writing all these things elsewhere. Or everywhere, as if Heavenly Ascension is rising again and sending me a message. He resents me for what I did and considers me a traitor. Fact is, I did put an end to Heavenly Ascension, so it's not like I don't understand where he's coming from. So you figured out who it is? Yep, I did. We agreed to meet, but when I arrived, I was knocked out with sleeping gas. And that's how you ended up here. He's most likely the one who knocked you out as well. I doubt he expected you to be looking for me, so he must have panicked when he saw you. He did seem confused, muttering something about me not being Viper or Jack. I figured, after hitting you, he must have realized you're connected to the central government. He probably put you in here with me, figuring that if we die together, suspicion would naturally fall on me. Whatever the reason, I'm really sorry for you got caught up in all this. Well, now that I have a better idea what's going on, you're tangled up in something messy as well. Bleh. Still, my telling you all this doesn't prove whether I really put an end to Heavenly Ascension or not. Yo, AMA chat, AMA. In that case, why did you form Heavenly Ascension? Why would you want to know that? I know you've been fighting for the rights of the Outer Rim. What I don't get is why your resistance took on the form of terrorism, or what led to your subsequent change of heart. That's why I want to know more about how it all started. Oh yeah, of course, for Kiwi Wrestle. Or Kiwi Mania. No, Vine Wrestle. Yeah. For Kiwi Wrestle, we should have Kermit as well. How can I forget about that? That's why I want to know more about how it all started. I think it'll help me judge better. Judge what? Me? Yeah. Alright. You've been dragged into this mess. At least you deserve to hear the full story. It goes back pretty far though. Ah, we're getting a whole backstory, man.
Lucky.
Oh, we should have like Diesel in it as well. We should have like Moran in it as well. Dude, we should put Crow in it just because we don't like Crow. And then Crow ends up winning the Kiwi wrestle belt. Do you know what my name used to be? I've been getting that question a lot today. Also, I think you can give like characters different stats. I don't know how it works. But yeah, I think you can intentionally make people like better or like worse. Huh? I think I heard it was Elysian Harper. That's right. Elysian Harper. That was my name until I chose to cast it aside. Elysian as in the company? Yes, that Elysian. It was a name that came with a lot of weight. Having that name meant I was the next CEO. In other words, I was the heir to Elysian. Whoa, no way! The heir? Dude, I wanted to screenshot that, but shift skips the dialogue. The heir? Wait, that would mean you and Ingrid are half sisters. We share the same mother. What? What? Holy. But you look nothing alike. They do look nothing alike. Well, I mean, do half sisters like are they supposed to look like alike? I would imagine that they would look something like. Well, then again, she's a NIKKE, so maybe they looked alike when she was like human. Wait, half sisters. We share the same mother. I'm the younger one. Our mother was the former CEO of Elysian. Ingrid's not a hot mom then. Hot mom eating beans? Well, god damn it. That must be why Ingrid said she wasn't fit to judge. Your family. Yeah, I guess. Honestly, I didn't realize she still thought that way. What kind of company do you think Elysian is? A company strangely obsessed with... I kind of want to say this. With uniforms. I'm saying this one. It's fun. This is the funny answer. I'm saying. I can't say I've ever heard it described like that. Now that I think about it, though, you might be right. A lot of Elysian and NIKKEs work in public service. At any rate, that wasn't ever the company's top priority. In the past, Elysian pursued only one thing. Power. Power? Yeah, more precisely, the power of humanity. When the Raptures attacked, humans abandoned the surface and fled to the Ark. My mother believed that in order to avoid extinction, only the strong must survive so that humanity could grow stronger and evolve. That's what she used to say, at least. It sounds similar to Elysian's current philosophy, but also a bit different. That's right, Ingrid believes humanity must use technology to defeat the Raptors. But she's not so fixated on the sole pursuit of strength. Mother was different. She pursued strength to the point of obsession. That's why she wanted the strongest of her children to be her successor. Ingrid and I were constantly tested and compared. I came out on top, which is how I became the heir. And the reason I was given the name of Elysian. If it weren't for a certain incident, I would have inherited Elysian as planned. The incident. Boob and butt combo. What incident? The incident. Did you know that Elysian built the Outer Rim barrier? What? No, I had no idea. course, it was the central government's proposal that initiated the process, but Elysian spearheaded the construction. Elysian they built the wall. It makes sense why she talks in all caps. Yeah, it kind of does. Mother had long believed that the weak were meant to be cold, and felt that garbage should be kept separate from human habitats, so she naturally welcomed the proposal. She knew people were living there in secret. She used to say they lacked gratitude for being allowed to live in the Ark, instead squandering their lives on gambling and pleasure. Called them garbage. Damn, her mother says no to sex. Oh, Hu Tao. Of course, how can I forget about Hu Tao? Oh, man. Dude, I kind of want to do it, but oh, man, $100? I mean, I can just, you know, legally obtain it, right? Legally obtain the game. At the time, I really thought the people in the outer room were all like that. But then, during the final inspection of the wall... I was sent to the outer rim in my mother's place, since I was the heir and all. That's when I learned for myself. The outer rim wasn't a mere trash dump. Just like the Ark, there are people living there. Real people, not garbage. Oh shit, we got pre-NIKKE EH. Wait, so yeah, this is when EH was still a human. But she looks nothing like Ingrid. Well, yeah, half-sisters. Hey, what are you doing? Huh? EB Games small. Kyre, how dare you mention EB Games? Did you know that EB Games shut down nationwide in New Zealand? It no longer exists in New Zealand. The entire place shut down a while ago. The young boy and girl are startled and step back, dropping a fuse. Whoa, what's wrong? It sparkles and is pretty. Are you going to light a dynamite fuse because it's pretty? You didn't know that. Oh, now you know, yeah. EB Games is shutting down worldwide. It's already shut down worldwide in New Zealand, I believe. And we had an EB Games in our mall. Yeah, shut down on January 31st this year. That's a shame. But we had an EB Games in our mall, and it was upstairs on the second floor. And yeah, it's closed. And there was like some of the employees even wrote some stuff on the thing. Go to Gex? We don't have a Gex. We wanted to make light. Everyone says there's no light here. Yeah, we played around with fire on that mountain. The light was really pretty. We just wanted to see it one more time. Is that not allowed? It's... What are kids like you doing here in the first place? Where are your parents? How'd you even... What do you mean? This is our home. This is your... home? Mom's here too. She's inside over there. I think. The children timidly glance at the fuse. I'm really not allowed to light a fire here? I really like to see more pretty lights. No, it's not allowed. You could get hurt if you're not careful. Good? Elysian Harper carefully looks at the mountain of trash. Use this instead. Huh? She picks up a sparkler that had fallen to one side of the trash pile and then lights it. A bright light begins to burst from the tip of the sparkler. Wow. These are the things you should be lighting, okay? Hee, okay. That's when the thought hit me. People live here. I can't just ignore that. Yeah, like, isn't the dynamite still, like, you know, it's like some Looney Tunes, like, fuse. Oh, that's how it ends. Well, that was the end of the event story, chat. I guess I'll see you next stream for when we get the next 5 attempts. Pretty interesting storyline. It's a little bit very, chill. Not very action-packed. Then again, not every event needs to be action-packed.
With this, we're one step closer
Okay, let me buy more attempts. Bloodstained bullet casing. Oh, and the event currency is a sparkler. Dang. It all began with a simple wish to bring a tiny spark of light to a city swallowed by darkness. Before the fire chasing greater lights consumes everything, why not ignite the little spark in your heart now? Oh, I'm missing one event. One ticket. Proposal for improving the living conditions of outer rim residents. Oh, that's the mother. Do we get to see the mother? Elysian Branca. Is she French? Man, Expedition 33. I can't believe what a great game that was. I also learned my favorite 2 French words from Expedition 33 were putain and merde. I can't believe. Look, mom. The game taught me how to swear in French. Elysian Franca tosses her tablet down. I sent you on such an important assignment so you could learn about what being my successor entails. But now it looks like you came back more foolish than when you left. I like how if you like putain, you have to say it like kind of like cutie pie. Like you have to like do something with your mouth. It's not just like putain. It's like pew pew. Who are the residents of the outer rim? There aren't any humans there last I checked. Mother. That entire place is filled with garbage and then nothing else. After being granted the privilege of escaping the surface and seeking refuge on the ground, they chose to hold themselves up in that dump that makes them garbage. If you really view those things as people, then that tells me all I need to know about how poor your judgment is. There are children who are born there who aren't like that. It may be true that the adults who went there were weak and made foolish decisions, as you say, but those children never had a choice. That doesn't matter. Being born in a dump still makes them garbage. Dang. What kind of logic is that? Their lives are meant to be anything more than that, then they'll find a way to survive, to get stronger, to make it out of there. They can't, it simply means they are born weak, and they will die weak. That is the law of nature. Said it many times before. Humanity as a whole must become strong, only by casting aside the weak and strengthening ourselves. Can we survive in this world where inhuman monsters run rampant? Have you really not learned that yet? Still, they're just children. If you really can't understand, you aren't qualified to be the heir of Elysian. Don't become weak, Harper. The heir of the great Elysian must not be swayed by pity for the weak. Be clear in what you keep and what you cast away. For the sake of a stronger human race, the weak must be discarded. Otherwise, humanity will never grow stronger. It is only through strength that humans can avoid falling behind in this inverted ecosystem and accomplish the great feat of reclaiming the surface. Okay. It was then that a thought came to my mind. We only pursue strength in an attempt to avoid extinction, and in the process we discard our humanity. Can we really still be regarded as human? When that thought hit me, I couldn't take it any longer. For days on end, I keep asking myself, what is true strength? And then finally, I came to a conclusion. If being Elysian's heir meant I wasn't allowed to think like that, then I would give up my position. Harper. Ingrid. Man, they really cannot look any different. Are you really leaving? Things just turned out this way, sorry. Looks like we won't be getting tested together anymore. And Mother's okay with it? No. She was angry. She called me pathetic and wouldn't let me take anything with me, saying maybe I'll get the sense knocked into me and come back. I got nothing aside from these weapons. Do you really want to save that place that badly? Yeah. Giga Chad. I'm going to turn the Outer Rim into a place where people can live like human beings. And then I'm going to show the entire world. I'll prove that there are real people living there in the place everyone else calls a dump. And that they can no longer ignore them. And to Mother, I'll prove that the strength that humanity actually needs to pursue doesn't come from some extreme version of survival of the fittest, but that the strong need to help the weak and give them the chance to get stronger so that everyone can grow together. And that's only by retaining our humanity, Jodo, can we truly become strong. That's the strength of humanity that I'm after. And what I want to prove to everyone, things may not go the way you want. I'm not trying to say that everything Mother said was right, but there are definitely those who would have given up and only take from others rather than make an effort themselves. If you start preaching your ideals to such people, they might take advantage of you. There will be those who learn you came from the Ark and that you were Elysian's heir. And out of jealousy, they'll threaten you and try to use violence. You won't be able to rest for even a second. And yet, in spite of all that, you still want to hold on to your ideals? Well, when it comes to violence, unless they're NIKKE's armed like soldiers in the Surface Reclamation Wars, they'll surely be weaker than you, so I think I'll be fine. You idiot! You can't let your guard down. No matter how strong you are, you're bound to fail if you get careless. I know. That's a valuable lesson Mother hammered into us as children. Look, I know what you're trying to say. The Outer Rim will be dangerous. I realize not everyone there will be good like the children I saw. But even so, I refuse to give up. Harper... Unfortunately, that means I won't be able to help you. I know you wanted us to work together on your plan to make humans and NIKKE stronger through technology and tactics. Still, I'll be looking forward to watching you from afar as you create Elysian's finest forces. The Absolute Squad, who will bring unmatched tactics to any fight. And the Extrinsic Squad, who will protect others from berserk NIKKEs. Elysian Harper extends her hand to Ingrid. Alright. I'm really hoping you prove to Mother that you're right. Let's both succeed at what we're trying to do, whatever it may be. Wherever. Ingrid firmly grasps it. Firmly grasp it! Take care of yourself. You too. Wow, what a
unexpected turn of events that EH and Ingrid are half sisters.
Wait, half sisters implies that their mother remarried, right? So like, the mother gave birth to Ingrid, divorced and remarried, and then gave birth to EH? Is that what it means?
It's over. Now,
but
let us rest together.
They're okay, so EH is a younger sister, but like how young, how what's like the age gap? Well, Ingrid does look a bit like older by
Reloading. Swiftly.
Frank is just freaky. Yeah, maybe. I guess she gets around.
When it comes to dominating the competition, nothing beats cold hard cash.
She didn't brush. You came straight into the Outer Rim after that. Yeah. If I wanted to change the Outer Rim, I figured I had to live here myself. And I'll tell you, I was surprised at what troubled me the most. I was surprised at what troubled me the most while living here. It wasn't the thugs picking fights because I was an outsider, or living in a house without a ceiling, which I'd never experienced before. Nor was it the thieves that tried to enter in whenever I closed my eyes. It was the fact that there was no light, just like those children had said. Aside from the faint glow of the Dome of Eternity seeping in from beyond the massive barrier, there was no light in the Outer Rim. So I decided to change that first. When I began, I noticed there were a bunch of wires everywhere that didn't seem to be used for anything. They were capable of drawing power, though, so getting electricity wasn't difficult. The challenge was finding someone in the Outer Rim who'd done electrical work before. I managed to finally find someone after a long search, and we began building streetlights together. We gathered bulbs from the landfills that could still be used, and installed them one by one. Wow, it's so bright! What is this? It's so pretty. What's the big deal? Why are you making such a fuss over a few light bulbs? They're too bright, I say. Why are you even trying to lighten up the landfill anyway? Why is he like Southern American? I don't know. Your eyes will get used to the brightness. This may be the outer rim, but we're still human beings and we deserve to live in the light. Don't we? Well, I suppose that's true. I think we need to start trying to live more like people. After all, we're humans, even if we may not live in the Ark. After that, I installed lights along what was considered the main streets. Gradually, people began gathering under the light. And then eventually, boss, 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 boss. At some point, people began calling me boss, Colonel, Colonel Diaper Chief. And that wasn't all. I want to live somewhere with more light. I want to see a brighter world. I want to feel the world beyond the partition. They started saying these kind of things to me. I figured that since I was the one who brought these people together, I had to respond to them. Wait, Heavenly Ascension? Outer Heaven? Outer Heaven? Heavenly Ascension? Holy shit. Shift Up is a genius. Kojima has done it again. Outer Rim, Outer Heaven, Heavenly Ascension. Holy moly. I figured that since I was the one who brought these people together, I had to respond to them. So I shouted, "Let us head toward heaven. Let us prove to the world that we are alive. And show them that we are people. One day we shall cross that partition into a world overflowing with light. Let us ascend back into heaven." From that moment on, we took the name Heavenly Ascension. It's funny because like the Dome of Eternity has like a fake sky and it's like artificial lighting as well. It's not like real lighting. You have to go up to the surface for real light.
I'm ready to fight down and never let go. Calm down. Only a few enemies remain. It's over.
I am missing one attempt.
Let us rest together.
Or two.
Commander.
I see. But the more I hear, the less I understand. Why did you resort to terrorism? Everything you said sounds pretty far removed from that sort of violence. You're right. That wasn't how we operated in the beginning. At first, we were almost like a neighboring or neighborhood watch group, just trying to make the Outer Rim a better place to live. Wait, do you? We made people in the Outer Rim get jobs. It could be any kind of work, even a darker kind. No matter what it was, we made a rule that if you worked, you received compensation. Some gangs liked us and others hated. But we approached all the established crime bosses the same, trying to settle matters by whatever means possible and then form tacit alliances with them. That's how we came to know Underworld Queen. We made an agreement with them to protect one another, and that became our greatest source of strength at the time. Once word spread that they were backing us, smaller gangs fell in line a bit more, and they started protecting homes for Outer Rim residents in exchange for payment. It's like Yakuza. Slowly but surely, the Outer Rim gradually stabilized, and that's when people started raising their voices. They said the time has finally come for us to speak with the Ark. We may have still been living in the landfill, but at least we were living like humans. And they said it was time we showed the Ark that. So, we tried. We secretly crossed the partition, put up posters, and shouted slogans. The Outer Rim isn't a landfill! There are many people who live there. Right now, there are many who are living amidst garbage without even seeing a single ray of light. Your attention can bring light to the people of the Outer Rim. We can bring a new future to the children growing up there. Bring light to the outer rim. Bring light to the outlaws. We focused on raising our voices. But don't trespassers get killed on the spot if you get caught? Not back then. It wasn't as difficult as it is now for outlaws to enter the Ark. Security wasn't as tight. Also, outlaws weren't considered a threat back then. But that also means there was no one else willing to listen. There was no one willing to listen. And no one was willing to listen. Right now, there are many who are living amidst garbage without ever seeing a single ray of light. Your attention can bring light to the people of the Outer Rim. Whack. Boss, are you okay? I don't know what you're going on about, but shut it. I can't stand the noise. Verbal and physical abuse felt almost preferable to nothing. At least meant they were listening. The real problem was how the majority of people were so indifferent. Everyone pretended not to hear, just staring at their phones as they walked past. What's she doing in the middle of the street? Excuse me. Oh no, I made eye contact. The woman wearing earphones hurries away. Felt like I was shouting into the void. And it wasn't just me, I'm sure everyone who was there with me felt the same. We decided to change our strategy and sent petitions directly to the central government. After we sent dozens, even hundreds of them, they finally agreed to arrange a meeting. We're hopeful that we're finally getting one step closer to what we wanted. But how come no one's here? It's been 6 hours. Did we get the date wrong? No. This is the right date. Legion Harper looks at the door of the meeting room, knowing no one is coming. After that happened several times, we got the message. No matter how much we petitioned them, the central government would not meet us. No matter how much we shouted, the Ark would not listen. We grew more and more exhausted until a certain someone proposed something. Was it the Sexo? They refused to listen to us. Why don't we make it so they have no choice but to hear us out? What, Crow? No way! We'll put on a grand fireworks show. Oh my god, it's Crow! We love Crow! Well, I mean, I haven't seen Crow in like ages. One they can't possibly ignore. Yeah. It was Crow. Crow jump scare. Holy.
Too much shooting will make my arms sore. I'm not being impatient. Only a few enemies remain. My new bow.
Okay, I guess it's maybe you should change your likeness of crows to ravens instead. Aren't ravens just bigger crows?
Now, let us rest together, Commander.
Crow was part of Heavenly Ascension too? Yeah. I don't know how she joined or who vouched for her. Oh, Crow backstory incoming. All I remember is hearing that she was born in the Outer Rim. At first, she was quiet, diligent, and devoted. She patrolled the Outer Rim with us, and went to the Ark with us to demand better rights. She went without hesitation to places other members avoided, and withstood all the physical and verbal abuse, and even the indifference. The reason I thought of her as a comrade, despite our philosophical differences, was because I saw how devoted she was then. But at some point, she stopped being quiet and started speaking up, raising her voice, and expanding her influence. While I was away from the Outer Rim to meet with the central government, she built up a small faction inside Heavenly Ascension. That's how much influence she'd gotten. You want to resort to terrorism? Bang! Are you out of your mind? Whoa, calm down. Why are you getting so worked up? Terrorism's a scary word, don't call it that. Since the Ark is so bright they can't seem to see those of us who are living in darkness, I'm just saying we should light up some fireworks to help them see better. Oh, don't try to make it sound harmless with words like fireworks. Your plan is practically a definition of terrorism. You want to sneak bombs into key central government facilities and detonate them. A ton of people in the Ark would die. It would be a catastrophe. Why should we care? Let the big wigs in the Ark deal with all that. Do you think anyone in the Ark cares about us? About how many die of sickness? Or how many children are going blind because there's no light? Is that actually real? Can you go blind if you spend your entire life just in darkness with literally no light? Gork, is that real? Or how many are killed by explosives that got mixed in with the trash? We screamed our lungs out, but they didn't care one bit. It's the same thing. Are people dying from sickness or accidents the same as outright murder? And unlike us, the Ark has a super high performance AI managing everything. Ain't it? Come on, boss, you lived there before. You don't have to pretend like you haven't. We all know you came from the Ark. You. How dare you? How dare you accuse boss of being from the Ark? You have any idea what she's done for the Outer Rim? Oh, of course I do. I'm well aware of how hard our dear boss has worked the Outer Rim, and how much has changed since she came here. How could I not? You're a good person, boss. Even I know that. I doubt there's a single person in the Outer Rim who hasn't benefited from your efforts. We know how hard you've tried. That's why we've all followed you this whole time, including me. That never happened with anyone else. You threw everything away and came to the Outer Rim with nothing. Then lived alongside us for years and brought light to this dump that had been covered in darkness. But what resulted from that? No one listens to us. No one remembers us. Why? Because it isn't sensational enough. That's the thing about people in the Ark. Their lives are so peaceful and they've had so much handed to them since birth that you can ask them as sweetly and kindly as you want, even raise your voice, and they won't so much as spare you a glance. If it isn't sensational, they dismiss it as boring and couldn't care less. So what? What are you trying to say? And how does this all lead to us becoming terrorists? Terrorists? Didn't I say not to use scary words like that? We can still do what you want, boss, and go into the Ark to tell them what we think. All I'm saying is we add a little spice to our words. That we do it the outlaw way. We make it a game to get them more involved. They find the bombs before they go off, the Ark wins. They don't, and the bombs go off first, we win. But seeing how they already have so much and we have so little, it's only fair that we apply just a tiny handicap to them. We'll know the entire plan, but they won't. Once they get engrossed in this little game of ours, they'll finally start listening to what we have to say. I guarantee it. So, Crow takes one more step toward Elysian Harbor. Just this once, I'd like us to do things my way. What do you say, boss? The look in her eyes told me that she'd go through with it, even if it meant having to go through me. She spoke in a way to rile others up, highlighting how we were together in this, and sugarcoating her words to downplay the crime and make it feel justified. Crow was an agitator and a charismatic one at that. The others were starting to agree with more and more what she said, and that's when I realized something. Boss, what we need isn't to throw a tantrum like timid children. We need a revolution. One with fire and blood, because the truth is those things can't be avoided if we're going to get what we want. But that'll never happen if we do things your way, will it? That's why I'm going to do it instead. I realized I had to put a stop to it. No, I can't allow that. What you said it right. What you said is right. My way is peaceful and uneventful. It's never going to stir up the people of the Ark. I understand wanting to give them a shot. People might actually remember our name if we do. But killing people is a completely different story. All we've been doing is giving them the go-ahead to shoot every one of us. Not just us, but everyone in the Outer Rim. Like you said, we have nothing compared to them. That goes for firepower too. True. If they get serious and come here for blood, we'll be lucky to escape, never mind defend ourselves. It wouldn't even be a fight. Of course, we have all snuck into the Ark before, so we might both flee there. But what about everyone else in the Outer Rim? The children, the sick, the elderly. Who's going to protect them? It's not just the central government. The reason we were able to make a pact with the Underworld Queen wasn't because we were so determined that we shed blood for our cause, but rather because we were protesting peacefully for our rights. We do things your way, that pact would collapse. All the order that we spent years establishing would collapse. Order, huh? That's why I'll never approve of your plan. Not just for our sake, but for everyone's. Huh. For everyone's sake. You say you're afraid of the central government? You say you're afraid the central government will set their sights on all outlaws. But that's easy enough to solve. We just change what we've been shouting this entire time. What do you mean? We stop saying, bring light to the outer room, bring light to the outlaws. Instead, we make sure they know it's us. Light is our right, heavenly ascension. Whoa, she said the thing. We change our slogan. Then the government won't target everyone in the outer rim, but only heavenly ascension, right? That's... No? Well, you're the boss. I get what you're worried about. Pro picks up the paper with her plan on it. Then I didn't say anything. Thanks for understanding. Like I said, you're the boss. Pro turns to leave and stops. But there is one thing you should know. Not everyone's like you. They don't all worry about the other people in the outer rim. And they're not all that patient either. Pro leaves the room. She seems dangerous. Shouldn't we keep an eye on her? Elysian Harper looks around the room. Few people glance toward the door, like they want to follow Crow out. Yes, please do. I had a gut feeling, though, that her plan couldn't be stopped. Well, that seems to be the case of like every chapter in Event Flower. Just like so many like grammar mistakes and like, you know, just weird words that don't make sense. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, I had hoped they'd gone better, would have gone better, but it's been like what, 2-3 years. From that day on, Heavenly Ascension split into two factions. The moderates, mods who wanted to raise their voices about straying too far from the old way, and the hardliners who said the old way would never work and that extreme measures were required. Naturally, Crow led the hardliners. At the time, both sides thankfully understood one another, even if they disagreed on which method to use. We at least knew why everyone chose the way they did. And the hardliners didn't cross the line. But as I feared, the hardliners kept getting more and more extreme. It didn't matter how much I tried to restrain them and persuade them otherwise, and before long, that ominous feeling I had was made a reality. The terrorist attack she had brought me that day was carried out in secret. They only changed the location. We just received news of a terrible tragedy. A large-scale terrorist bombing has occurred on the AFX train operated by Elysian. Oh shit. Diesel. The incident took place as the train was entering the station platform. The explosion, which came from within the passenger cars, not only destroyed the train, but also caused the station structure to collapse, resulting in a terrible tragedy. The central government has deployed numerous NIKKEs to the site to conduct rescue operations. But due to the extent of the collapse, the number of casualties continues to rise. Meanwhile, according to the testimony of one survivor, a passenger on the train stood up, pulled out a detonator, and shouted the following just before activating it. The AFX incident. Yeah. The worst terrorist attack in the Ark's history was set in motion by Crow. Light is our right, heavenly ascension. Using her slogan. Damn. It's all connected, man.
Reloading.
Did you guys notice that Rupi always had like her Louis Vuitton bag here with her? I just saw that. Just as Crow predicted, after the AFX incident, the name Heavenly Ascension spread across the entire arc. The things we'd shouted, which no one ever listened to, finally spread everywhere. Arc citizens began to recognize that people live in the outer rim. And people also recognize that there's unskippable ads. I'm sorry, chat room, but I shall be right back, yeah? Give me like 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I have a small snack and coffee with me, so I might periodically start drinking them. So yeah, anyway, let's continue. Arc citizens began to recognize that people live in the outer rim. As soon as public opinion started to deem the central government's initial response as inadequate, the government got in touch with us saying they wanted to enter into negotiations. What kind of negotiations? They said they would listen to everything we had to say. Of course, given how much death and destruction the attack had caused, we were on high alert. But the government assured us that they were aware that only a small number of us were behind it, and that we could bring as many armed guards as we wanted if we were uneasy. Even still, I hesitated. The one who ultimately convinced me was my mother. Ooh. I'll hear you out. Come if you want to clean up this mess. Hear me out, chat. After every questionable female appears on screen. Hear me out. That was the message I got from her. So we decided to arm ourselves and head over. We figured that the attack had already happened, and sitting around wasn't going to change anything. How do you think it went? Not very well would be my guess. Why do you think that? If it had gone well, there wouldn't have been any other attacks. Bingo. Where's everybody going? Bingo? It didn't end well. Just as we suspected, the meeting was a trap laid by my mother. When we made it to the conference room, there wasn't people in there who were waiting for us. It was mass-produced NIKKEs armed with Elysian's latest weapon. You're kidding. The moment the meeting room opened, they started firing before we even had a chance to react. And that storm of bullets, I watched as my comrades threw themselves in front of me. Stop, let me go. I should be in there. I should be dying with them. Get it together, boss. You have to live. That's the only way their deaths will mean anything. One of them hoisted me onto his back and jumped out the window. That's how I survived. Holy Giga Chad. Everyone who went to that meeting that day died. Everyone except me and the man who jumped out the window with me. Oh, excuse me. Is that the man who wrote this bloody message? That's terrible. After that, nothing could stem the tide. Not only did the majority of moderates defect to the hardliners, but remaining a moderate became grounds for being labeled as a traitor. The resentment of being treated like garbage for so long. The betrayal from being deceived into approaching the negotiation table. The desire for revenge on behalf of all the comrades we'd lost. You take all those negative emotions and combine them with the precedent that Crow had set, and people began committing terrorist attacks all across the arc. After that, there was nothing I could do. I know it all started with me, that I'm the one who pulled the trigger when I said we'd lead the outer rim toward the light. But once that bullet was fired, it flew out of my control. Regardless of what I wanted, I was suddenly the leader of a terrorist organization. A leader who survived by hiding behind the bodies of her comrades. Did your mother ever contact you again? No. She assumed full responsibility for failing to kill me, the head of Heavenly Ascension, and stepped down as Elysian CEO. That's why Ingrid had the CEO mantle thrust upon her so abruptly. As for me, I cast off the name of Elysian Harper and from the day forward, lived only as EH. Having become a powerless leader, incapable of doing anything. I wasn't even able to make decisions after that. All I could do was try to persuade them to carry out attacks that didn't kill anyone. That's pretty much how things were. Until the attack on the Ark that blew a hole in the dome of eternity. I remember that. You guys remember that? I need to buy one more. Man, it really feels like... How are they gonna end this event in 2 stages? It really feels like it needs more. But typically hard mode only has an epilogue and not like full-on stories.
Hot stuff coming through. I got it.
Okay, so far I gotta say, I am a fan of the I guess they call it a change of direction for the writing. It doesn't, well, it's a good thing because right now it doesn't seem like to be that much different. Because when I heard change of direction, I think a lot of people assumed, uh-oh, it's gonna be like a massive difference. But right now it's been really good. That's everything I can tell you. Does that answer your question? Yeah, I think it's enough. I appreciate your honesty. No need to thank me. This is the first time I've been able to talk so freely to someone. I really appreciate you listening. Whatever decision you make, I'll accept it. We've been in here for a while. I'll try to find us a way out. The H stands. You wait here for a sec. The H? Yeah. Do you ever regret it? Regret what? Leaving Legion and going to the outer room? Aye. Bang! We'll never know! I turned toward the sound. It came from over there, right? The sound came from beyond a wall piled high with metal crates. Yeah. Stay here. I'll go check. I should come with. Honey, can hear Viper? Hey, smell boss. Come back. Sounds like Jackal and Viper. Viper Jacker. Viper? Jackal over here. Huh? Sounds that. Boss Commander. We're here. Get back. Oh, what are you? He grabs me by the collar and quickly pulls me away from the wall. Alerta, that sound! Get down! I quickly cover my head and duck. Wah. A bomb. There you are. Is everyone okay? You're later than I expected. When I saw the tracker, I figured you'd come right away. Sorry about that. This place is used for cold storage, so the temperature weakened the signal. Plus, we had to make a short pit stop somewhere. Where? Cold storage? No wonder it felt so cold in here. Yep. I guess they figured this was the best place to jam any possible tracking signals. Wait, what tracker? Check the inside of your sleeve. I feel along the inside of my sleeve. I detach a small cube, no bigger than my pinky nail. When you gave me that little boost earlier, remember? With the handshake? What boost? As a sign of our trust and commitment, how about a handshake? That? Hee, remember now? We were escorting you through the outer room. We had to take certain precautions. And what do you know? It helped us find you. I'm sure, but I know I technically failed to protect you as I promised. But I did come and save you, so we're good, right? Good? I don't really get what you mean, but Commander is good. Yeah, sure. Hey, chat, can you handshake on this? Thanks for saving me. Hee, don't mention it. Oh, and by the way, we caught the guy who did this. You did? Yeah, that pit stop I mentioned earlier. Went and caught him. He'd actually been upstairs eavesdropping on us. We subdued him though. Want to see? Yeah. I'll come too. Are you sure? Might be dangerous. Maybe you should wait outside of Jackal. I'd like to hear what he says. I'm involved in this too, after all. I want to know why he did it. Sure. Then let's go together. With Viper and Jackal leading the way, we go upstairs. A man is there, bound to a pillar and gagged. He glares at us. Viper, can you remove the gag? Yeah, okay. Viper approaches the man and removes the gag. Okay, do you think this is the guy that saved EH from the building? Probably. What are you even doing that for? You should just kill me. It's been a while. Melon?
Lemon. Melon. Melon.
Alright. Sorry, Melon. You gotta go now. You got a good memory for a traitor. I didn't know you're still alive. Last time I looked for you, I couldn't find you anywhere, so I thought you were dead. Why would I show my face to a central government lapdog? You only try to get me to quit Heavenly Ascension anyway. Why did you do this? Because I resent you. I couldn't believe you'd become a government lapdog. You were our boss. Why didn't you die back then? During the attack on the Ark, you should just let yourself get blown up along that surface elevator. You don't have to listen to CH. Yeah, there's nothing to hear that you haven't already heard. It's fine. If you just died, if you died without becoming a NIKKE, then I wouldn't feel so betrayed. Someone had to take responsibility. You lived through it too. You saw for yourself the horror we inflicted in the name of terrorism. But no matter how it starts, no matter who incites it, no matter what the justification, as soon as the wrong methods are used, the message loses all meaning. The name can be branded in history, but our cause lost all its legitimacy. We dressed them up under the name of a human rights movement, but all those terrorist attacks were nothing more than violent crimes. Crimes that brought death and destruction on a whole lot of innocent people. We can realize that we are wrong and regret it all we want, but there's no change in the wrongs we committed. It doesn't ease the pain that the victims suffered. There needs to be someone. Someone has to atone. Because pain and sin don't ever go away. E.T. All those crimes we committed were in the name of Heavenly Ascension. So I thought it was only right that I take responsibility for them. Atone, huh? All by yourself? Yeah, I'm the one who started it all. I'm the one who found the Heavenly Ascension, who failed to stop Crow and the hardliners, and who ultimately decided to go to that meeting where so many of our people died. It was all me. I realized that since I'm the one who started all this, I should be the one to end it. But by the time I made that decision, my body was already dying. I'm dying, Squirtle. That's the reason I became a NIKKE. I wanted to have more time to atone for what we did. Chad, I'm dying. I think you should move on too. In that case, let me ask you one last question. In your entire life, has there ever been a time, even just once, when you regretted coming to the Outer Rim instead of taking over Elysian? Did you hear us talking? Just answer the question. Do you regret it? I have more regrets than I can count. But coming to the Outer Rim has never been one of them, I swear it. You should leave Heavenly Ascension. Admit that what we did was wrong. And cast off your past life. That's the price you have to pay. No. Melon ... You're a traitor and a hypocrite. I carry my share of sin with me. What? Not a bomb. Where was he hiding the detonator? Ah, you know where. We'll never be making it to heaven anyway. So I'll see you in hell along the others, boss. Everyone get back. Melon. Light is our right, Heavenly Ascension. He doesn't die. Nah, he's not human. When the smoke fades from the blast, when the smoke from the blast clears, We hurried to where Melon had been. But only debris from the explosion remains. They're not even a face. For a brief moment. Well, you know, the Lycoris Recoil collab, it was just too much money, you know? EH stares silently at the remains. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Let's get going. I'll take you outside. Okay. Following EH's lead, we walk toward the outer rim barrier. Viper? Boss? Commander? What's wrong? Why is everyone so quiet? Are you hungry or something? Hehehe, I'm hungry too. Commander, want to eat before we go? For goodness sake, Jackal. I'll buy you some food later, so just wait for now, okay? Huh? Yeah, sure. Hmm? Jackal starts sniffing and moves towards a box in the corner. What is it? Is there something there? It smells like gunpowder. Boss, is this dangerous? Jackal lifts a small stick from inside the box. That's... sparkler. Sparkly? Do you blow it up? Yeah, she takes a sparkler from Jackal. It's a sparkler. You light it like this. EH lights the tip. Crackle. They spell crackle. Come on, man. How do you spell crackle right here and then spell it wrong here? A bright light begins to burst from the tip of the sparkler. Whoa, this is animated. And it shines like this. Wow, it's so pretty. Commander Viper, look, it's so pretty. Haha, yeah, you're right. It's very pretty. I never thought I'd see one of these in the outer rim. Yeah, it's really pretty. EH stares at the sparkler intently. Her gaze filled with both nostalgia and regret. These are the only fireworks you should be lighting. Hehehehe. I want to hold one too. I want to light it. Jackal grabs a handful of sparklers and runs off. Wait, Jackal, lighting that many is dangerous. Viper runs after her. Tom. Yeah. If I ever get blinded again while chasing after the light, and end up setting fire to something that isn't meant to burn, will you stop me no matter what it takes? I'm sorry, that's a lot to ask. I don't think that day will ever come, because I'm positive you won't forget what you're atoning for. As such, I'm not going to agree to stop you. Instead, pick up a sparkler and touch the tip to the one... Don't touch tips. What are you talking about? I even spelled it wrong again. I watch and support you as you atone, so that someday you'll finally have atoned for everything and be free. In a shimmering light, EH gives a small smile. That's more than enough. Whoa, the end! That was crazy. Hey, we did it. Woo! Now, that was great. First of all, that was great. Not a lot happened. Not a lot happened in terms of like action and stuff. We were kind of just in one area. There wasn't really a super bad, ultra bad guy. It was a lot of just exposition and like story and flashback. But like I said, right, the game does the story interesting enough that despite the fact that we already know the outcome, learning like how it happened is actually still interesting to hear about, right? So I'm going to assume the hard mode epilogue will just be us going back to Ingrid. Maybe we'll bring up the fact that like they're sisters and like they're like the mother and stuff. Like maybe we'll bring it up as like a little side thing. But yeah, it was great. I wonder though, I don't know. I wonder if like, if for future events, if I should just like wait until hard mode is out and then just upload hard mode epilogue alongside the main thing. But the thing about that is hard mode always unlocks 1 week after. So that means I have to wait like, I'm gonna have to be like, what, a week late to upload this stuff. So I'm not sure. But I'm sure that's what's gonna happen at the epilogue. We're gonna go back, we're gonna report to Ingrid, we're gonna say, yeah, nothing's wrong. We might bring up her mother. We might bring up the fact that EH and her are like half sisters. And yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I kind of thought that there would be more like, I mean, yeah, based like judging from this splash screen, I kind of expected there to be like more things, but no. Yeah, you're right, Sign. Also, some Crow could have been a central government plan so they can get the green light to move on the outer rim. Well, you know what, Doug, it wouldn't surprise me. We all know how like messed up the central government is. So you're saying that the central government intentionally planted Crow into the heavily ascension like squad to cause discourse, and that they intentionally knew that they would do like a terrorist attack bombing and that there was going to be casualties in the arc. So they knew from the beginning. So they just needed a reason to be able to get rid of the outer rim people. Well, they did say, EH did say that they had no idea where Crow came from, right? Like, she was just born in the outer rim, and she was very quiet. And then one day, she just suddenly became louder and louder. What was the secret code word? What was the sleeper agent code word? Nah, she's too evil. Yeah, EH's backstory. Yeah, remember when we met her in the main story, she just looked sad, right? And depressed. Well, knowing her backstory now, it's kind of... It's her like being like this is... Her being like this is fair. That's kind of cool. Anyway, this is a very cool event story. I like it. Might not have like the most action-packed thing. It might not have like Rafi like on a roundhouse kicking like a freaking the queen or whatever, but it was nice. But like Hire said, Ingrid is not a mommy. God damn it!
Let us rest together, Commander.
Wait, you go on a date with EH in the Bond story? Oh, right, because you pulled for EH. I didn't pull for her. Yeah, no. The funny thing about this is I actually did a 10 pull for EH, and I did get an Elysian unit, and I was like, oh, holy moly! And then I got Emma instead. The alt Emma, not the base Emma, the alt one, alternative one. Alright, that was nice. That was also pretty short as well. It wasn't too long. It was like 2 hours. Which is nice. Anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. If you do watch this, sorry I was like a week late to this. I don't usually upload hard mode epilogues because it's only like one scene. So I do wonder if from now on I should just wait for hard mode to come out and then do all this and then upload hard mode as well. But again, I don't know if people watch these I don't know if people watch my like playthrough on YouTube for like my reactions or just to see like, oh, what's happening in the main story and stuff like that. Maybe it's a bit of like little bit of like A and B or something. I'm not sure. But thanks YouTube for watching. Thanks Twitch for watching. I'll see you guys next time for I don't know what we're going to do next, but we'll see. So yeah, goodbye YouTube, and I'll catch you in the next NIKKE update, which I'm not sure what it's going to be. Goodbye.